Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast as we enter the third decanate of October. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us. A decanate is a division of 3, by the way. So here we are on the 20th. We are turning the corner into the last part of the month, which means that Scorpio season must be nearby, and it sure is. I'll tell you what, this sky and everything we have going on around here does not lend itself well to brevity. I've got a lot to pack in here today, and let's begin with lucky stars. You've heard the announcement at the beginning. Let's check in with Kristin first, and I'll talk more about the program at the end. Hi, Kristin.
Hello, Thomas and Fun Astrology Podcast. Happy Monday. Today is a challenging day, but we have lucky stars days for tomorrow and Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday are more cautionary energy, and then back to a lucky stars day for Sunday. To find out lucky stars days early or to watch Thomas and I break down the rankings of the days, join the Lucky Stars Club. I hope you all have a great week.
And you do the same, Kristin. She has some great days this week to cover with you on Tuesday and Thursday. Like I said, there's just a lot going on with this, and she did a great job of November's Lucky Stars, which we've recorded and we will have out for you this week. Let's get our sky business done, and we'll talk about that at the end if you're in Lucky Stars or want to be. All right, let's get in our Fun Astrology helicopter and zoom up to 10,000 feet because we really have to grab a perspective of this from above. And I'm kind of basing everything today off of a comment that we had on our YouTube channel last week where somebody said, I'm just not feeling this positivity you guys are talking about. And I get it. And parlay that with that by the end of this week, when we close out the week and head into the weekend, we will have fully embedded Scorpio. And now we're talking about my side of the chart, which is the layer of deep and dark and transformational and emotional and confrontational and intense Scorpio. I finished and delivered the Evolutionary Astrology Audiobook that I've been working on so hard these last long while. It's great, though. What a wonderful book. And I asked if I could share a section of it, and I chose Chapter 1. And that was released yesterday. If you didn't catch it, I would highly encourage you to do so because it perfectly sets up where we are, at least from this perspective of why all this stuff going on now? And what's amazing is this was written in 1973 and 74, 50 years ago. Still relevant, still hits the mark, still puts it in perspective. So check that out. It's just shy of 20 minutes, I believe. And I think that will really help you set the stage for what we're dealing with here. It's a big, huge, he takes it all the way back to the beginning of this 2,000-year era that we are closing out. Here we are again. I can't imagine a man in his 20s wrote that. I don't know what he was. I was no more in that kind of a mindset in my mid-20s. Oh my gosh. All right, the structure of the sky. Well, it's just as complex as it has been. We have two kites that are sitting basically across from each other. We have two T-squares, so a great big square with oppositions in the middle. So it is this mixed bag. Oh, we have a yod too, by the way. So it's this big, huge mixed bag of energy pulling on us one way, yet there is this positive overtone. We mentioned it last week with the Andre Barbeau quote. Ray mentioned it in Saturday's financial podcast. If you didn't catch that, listen to the second half. If you're not interested in the money part, go up to the second part because he covers it in there. Like he said that after all of this clears, the Great Pyramid configuration, particularly the Saturn in Aries part of it, that once it clears, there's always a big blue sky. He said 10 years of peace historically as that cycle completes. 10 years of peace on planet Earth. Let me give you a rundown just so you can kind of mull this over in your head, what's coming up. One of the biggest, I think, fundamental things in the chart right now is Jupiter and Pluto are across from each other. They are pulling on each other. That's part of the tug. They don't kiss on the lips, though. They get close, but in like 6 degrees. It's not that close, but it's close enough that we are very much steeped in a Jupiter-Pluto opposition right now, which are the two biggest, most powerful, influential planets in the sky. Well, that's not true, but yeah, they're both very powerful. That was clickbait, sorry. But seriously, I mean, Pluto is the 3 times the power of Mars from Reinhold Ebertin 80 years ago, something like that. Jupiter expands. Pluto rules Scorpio. You see the picture? I mean, that right there, and it may not be clickbait, because that right there means that everything Scorpio is going to be magnified. The sun moves in there on Wednesday. Kristin and I will be around for that. We have a new moon tomorrow. Now, that happens right before the moon moves into Scorpio by a few hours. By noon Eastern tomorrow, the moon will be in Scorpio. Another big thing tomorrow. See, Kristin's loaded for tomorrow. Another big thing for tomorrow is that Mercury enters its shadow of its retrograde. And do you remember what happened last time? It seems like 3 weeks ago when Mercury entered the shadow, and already it was like the Earth was rumbling in retrograde-esque kind of things. Who knows what this one will be like, but the fireworks begin tomorrow. Now, here's where it begins to build. Mr. Mercury and Mr. Mars are already in Scorpio. Mars has been in there for a while. Of course, Mercury moving a good bit faster, over twice as fast as Mars. They've both caught up with each other. So today they're at 19 degrees Scorpio, Mercury and Mars together. It's the one aspect. It's already happened early this morning, but they smacked each other on the lips as Mercury ran by. We've been talking about that being this aspect of mental challenges. So, yes, to our listener last week, yes, I get it. You're not feeling the love because these two are in the heaviest sign in the sky. Then on Friday, we have another big one. The Sun squares Pluto. I'll be back with you on Friday. We'll talk about that then. But that's building all week, and that's big as well. So combine the Sun being grumpy with Pluto on Friday, Jupiter being grumpy with Pluto for the next couple of weeks at least, Pluto ruling Scorpio, 4 planets in Scorpio. You see what I'm saying is that we are going to be inundated with Scorpio energy, and that's a lot heavier than most people can handle. You know who knows this energy best? Is people with Scorpio moons. And those of you with one are going, yeah. Okay, couple of characteristics. I mean, there are support groups, there are Facebook groups about Scorpio moons. I know a lot of us have planets in Scorpio. Many of you have Pluto in Scorpio, but nobody feels it better than a Scorpio moon. What would they say? Yeah, it's like an emotional overcharge. There is something about awakening. It's about transformation. Transform or be transformed. It's about heightened intuition. That is really worth tuning into this week. Your radar should be sharp in that area. This is about awakening, reawakening, transforming, tearing down old structures, but mostly it's about constantly living with and dealing with deep emotional stuff. So we'll spend time picking this apart through the week, but just know that big picture, there is just a lot going on in the sky. And by the way, that yacht, I mentioned it, it's with us every day this week, and the sun is up at the top. Saturn and Neptune are on one side, and Uranus is on another. So that's the Great Pyramid, and then the sun is square to Pluto, the other part of the pyramid. So it really, it's just like, wow, so much symbolism up in the sky to say that things are happening, and things turn deep this month, and then they move into Sagittarius, and it will be a whole different experience and energy. All right, sorry that went so long. I'm going to end the astrology part there, so if you're not interested in Lucky Stars, you can jump off here and have a great week. I hope most of you are still around because, yes, we are kind of making the full transition now to the new website, hightimelineliving.com. Here's the deal. The old site, Buy Me a Coffee, the billing on that site has been paused. So you can go to Buy Me a Coffee and end your subscription there, and then come over to hightimelineliving.com. And now is the time. This is the week to resubscribe there, because you're going to get a full month free. So you should not be charged at High Timeline Living until mid to late November. Now, there's one thing you need to do over there. When you sign up, go to that community page that has Lucky Stars and then click on the follow button. That way you'll get the announcement by email when November drops this week. You'll have instant access. Basically, that's it. I mean, it's very easy. The old site is kind of gone. Now, if you were in Lucky Stars last month, I am going to send an email to everybody just letting you know that it's available on the new site. If you're not interested in Lucky Stars anymore, then just let that email pass. That's the only one you'll get. And we hope you'll reconsider and circle back because it's going to really become a cool program coming forward. But 2 quick little things on your to-do list. Cancel the old one, start the new one. And because the delivery is so much easier and so much more efficient, I'm going to go ahead and put it out when we have it ready, which probably will be around by the middle of the week. So you'll have plenty of time to take a look at November. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks for your extra time. I hope that it sets you up both emotionally, mentally, and preparationally from the sky. There's a lot going on, but we'll unpack it through the week. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful Monday. Sending you lots of lucky love. Bye-bye.